What's up, everybody? I see everybody having a conversation in the comments before we even get on the air. What's up, everybody? I hope you guys had a good day. Welcome back to another news recap. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Overall theme of the episode is, of course, fuck ICE and this entire administration. We're also going to talk about how it appears the Trump administration may be trying to prevent certain people from leaving the country. The stock market has lost over $1.5 trillion in market value in one day, thanks to Donald Trump's tariffs and complete instability he's created within the market. We're also going to talk about Peter Thiel again, because Peter Thiel is apparently in San Francisco doing his tour, talking about the Antichrist, while ironically describing himself every time that he goes on one of these tours. So I also have some pretty bit long clips. I think it was like a 12-minute video I found on Twitter of a former employee talking about what Palantir really does. So I thought that would be really good to review. So let's get started. First of all, we gotta laugh about this because this is peak Donald Trump. Okay, let me just play. This is the only Donald Trump video I have today. I'm not going to torture you guys too much. But before we get into talking about ICE and Palantir, let's play this video because Donald Trump came out and said that the woman who won the Nobel Peace Prize, called him and said that he should have won it. Like, who believes any of this shit? But here, just to give you an idea, this is how crazy our president is.
The person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it. That a very nice thing to do. I didn't say then give it to me, though. I think she might have. She was very nice. And I've been helping her along the way. They need a lot of help in Venezuela. It's a basic disaster. So, and you could also say it was given out for 24, and I was running for office in 24. All of the transactions that we did in terms of closing. But there are those that say we did so much that they should have done it. But I don't.
Okay, this demented man-child said that the woman who won the Nobel Prize called him and said that he should have gotten it, not her. And that he's helped her tremendously. Like, come on, guys. Does anybody believe it? This is embarrassing. Again, we talked about this yesterday. The fact that this guy even thought he was in the running for a Nobel Peace Prize is fucking hilarious. But Donald Trump is a narcissist who thinks the world revolves around him. So, yeah, not shocking, right? But let's talk about, I'll save Palantir for later in the show, but let's talk about ICE first because we don't have an immigration problem in America, okay? We have a Nazi problem in America, okay? Immigrants are what make this country great. Nazis are what make this country unfucking bearable. And the White House is actively pushing for bloodshed. I'm going to show you 3 clips of Kristi Noem going on various right-wing networks. What do you mean, be careful on Facebook? Yeah, it'd be fine. They're good. But Kristi Noem is lying her ass off on a propaganda tour, and she is going to get people killed. And I'm also going to show you some of the propaganda videos that the White House has been posting to their various social media. I also have videos of ICE treating people like animals. And honestly, if you support this still, to me, you are just subhuman. Like, here's humanity, and like, you're down. I can't even show you on camera how big the gap is. Okay, you are subhuman. You are an animal if you support this and are okay with the shit I'm about to show you. Some people, I think, are still in denial as to how serious this is. I wish we would all come to the collective agreement that this is going to get way worse before it gets any better. And I'm going to show you some video clips as to why I think that. Good news, though. There is some good news. I'm finding a rift between in the MAGA movement, and it's against Donald Trump, okay? And Mike and I talked about this a long time ago because I didn't understand the MAGA movement, because you have the rich MAGAs who fully support Israel, Okay. But then you have the core MAGAs, the white nationalists who hate Jewish people. Like they truly believe in the World War II. The Proud Boys literally wear shirts that say 6MWE, which means 6 million wasn't enough in reference to how many Jews were killed during the Holocaust. So that rift is starting to show itself because they are starting to see that this entire administration, I mean, as a matter of fact, our entire government, not just Republicans, are 100%, they owe their allegiance to Israel. We've seen this year how Israel's taken over social media. They've taken over all of our different various networks. Most of our politicians are in their pocket. And we know Israel's okay with killing people to get their way. So it's not a stretch of the imagination to think they wouldn't have a problem doing the same thing even on American soil. Because right now they can do whatever they want with impunity. There is no consequences for Israel. For whatever reason, the world has decided to just let them do whatever they're doing without stepping in, which is insane. So, yeah. Let me go ahead and Brina's saying about getting arrested for leaving Charlie Kirk messages. Somebody got arrested for leaving a Charlie Kirk. Oh, okay. I thought you said leaving Charlie Kirk a message. I'm like, damn, that's a little bit much. But yeah, I mean, if they're going to target me, they're going to target me. I've been doing this for long enough now. There's literally no way I could go through and scrub my entire internet history. So, like, I'm in it. So I expect to be picked up by the feds. I expect to be arrested at every single protest I go to. I go in with the expectation that I will probably end up in jail sometime. I'm actually surprised I haven't been locked up yet for some of the things that I've said. So I'm not going to stop. I don't give a fuck anymore. They've tried to take everything. My life was shitty before the Trump administration started. So they're going to make it worse? I don't think so. Like, I'm going to take my destiny into my own hands, and I'm not going to let somebody dictate how I live and what I say. Fuck that. Okay, until the until the Constitution is shredded, which they're trying to do. I still have the First Amendment right of free speech, so we're going to go ahead and utilize that as much as possible. Yeah, being cautious is kind of not really my thing, but I get it. I get your concern. I do. So, all right, but let's talk about ICE, because that is the problem in the United States. They are actively hiring white nationalists. They are actively hiring people with deep-rooted Nazi and racist beliefs into a federal agency, paying them upwards of $50,000 start-on bonuses. I mean, they're making six figures a year, and they get to pretend that they are soldiers while they attack women and children in residential American neighborhoods. That's ICE. That's the problem. The Trump administration is the problem. Like, at what point is the military going to protect us from the Trump administration? Because that's what your oath was all about. You know what I mean? Enemies foreign and domestic. Well, we are currently under siege by our own president. Okay, if you're ever going to uphold your oath, military, admirals, and generals, now would be a really fucking good time before people do end up getting killed. Because I have a feeling this is not going to end peacefully, guys. There's no scenario that I can see that this ends peacefully. They want bloodshed. They want people battling it out on the streets, because if we're fighting each other, we will not be focused on them at all. And they can do whatever they want. Right now, all eyes are on them, which they don't like. They're being critiqued every step of the way, and it's driving them nuts. But just to give you an idea how fucking crazy these people are, the video I'm going to show you is of a pastor. His name is Joel Webbin. Okay, he just recently said that join ICE to be God's avengers and carry out God's wrath. Okay.
Yep, you can't be a vigilante, but you literally can join ICE and be God's appointed avenger. Right, who seeks to carry out God's vengeance on the evildoer. Immigration is evil. So to join the proper mechanism through ICE and to become, in that sense, God's appointed deacon to carry out vengeance on the evildoer who is devouring the inheritance of the children, that is a righteous thing. You can join ICE today and make Jesus smile as you
make Jesus smile. Jesus was a fucking immigrant. Oh my God, these people are delusional. There is a special place in hell reserved for the entirety of this Trump movement. There truly is a special place in hell for all of you. You are not getting into heaven, which is like the only satisfaction I get, knowing that once the billionaires destroy this world, that you will not be there, because most of us are living hell on earth, having to fucking deal with you. And if you think you can act like the way you're acting, suppress people, take away human rights, like Brina said, our own fucking military is going to food banks because they didn't know if they were getting paid. You think that you were going to get into heaven after all of this? You have never read the Bible. You have never, ever read the Bible. You have a right-wing pastor who tells you what he thinks is in the Bible, and you go, oh, yeah, yeah, that's it. Most of you read at a fifth grade level. I know for a fucking fact, even if you've read the Bible, you don't have the bandwidth to comprehend what it says. Jesus is not smiling. Chances are Jesus already came back for the second coming, and he was drone striked by the IDF for being a fucking Palestinian. Right? So chances are Jesus has been trying to come back, but they keep, dropping bombs on him, American-made bombs. And let's be honest, if Jesus came back talking about heal the sick and feed the poor, oh my God, MAGA would be the first ones to call him woke and try and crucify him. And this is the type of people that they listen to. This is a pastor speaking the word of God. Jesus, you're no different than like Al Qaeda or the Taliban. You're just religious extremists. This is why I hate religion, man. It's always used as a freaking weapon. So you want to be part of God's Avengers, led by idiots like Kristi Noem. Well, Kristi Noem is going to get people killed. Both are lies, and these are all baseless lies. So here's just one clip to give you an example.
Got not just rioters and people that embrace violence to push back on what we're doing in this country. These are Antifa. We have terrorist organizations, and that's what I keep reminding people is we're not just dealing with criminals. We've got networks of cartel members and terrorists that are infiltrating these cities. And every day that we don't bring them to justice, they're recruiting new members, more people to their ranks. And that is why every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, DHS and our officers are working to get them off the street so that we can stop them in their track.
We're not recruiting more people. There is no, oh my God, cartels. See, this is what I mean. You got some idiots in the Midwest or even in my area that are heavy Trump supporters. All you need is a handful of these dumbasses to go out with their AR-15s and start shooting people because of stuff like this. This is so dangerous, and I feel like they don't give a shit. They don't care that they are going to get people killed. This is why I keep saying this is not going to end well. This is not going to end peacefully because they're going to be the ones that just start shooting people. They already did. They already have. Kristi Noem was on television saying they shot a woman because she brandished an AR-15, and that was a complete lie. That was a complete lie. They shot this woman 5 times after surrounding her car. A bunch of masked white men surrounded this poor woman's car, scared the fuck out of her, and then when she tried to get away, they shot her 5 times and then lied and said she had an assault rifle. Again, they don't need proof in this country anymore. They don't need reasonable doubt or even reasonable suspicion. You know what I mean? They don't need probable cause, none of that stuff. Okay, they are judge, jury, and executioner now. They do not care if a person gets killed because the person who shot the woman is still on duty as far as I know. So that's what you get rewarded in this administration for shooting at women and children because they're not arresting criminals. How many videos of criminals have you guys seen ICE arresting? I see them harassing, Brina, I think, mentioned the WGN employee, an actual part of the press. I've seen women and children stripped from their bedrooms in the middle of the night and zip tied like they were criminals. I've seen more women and children be assaulted by ICE than I have seen them even an actual crime, an actual criminal. They're not going after criminals. They're just going after anybody with black and brown skin. They are racially profiling the entire country. We are all targets because they're going after. Okay, being anti-fascist isn't a group. It's an ideology. It's a way of thinking. I mean, they're going after a way of thinking, which means anything you say, they can say, oh, that's Antifa, terrorist group, and then lock you up. That's why there's no point in being careful anymore, because there is no appeasing these people. There is no pleasing the Trump administration, okay? You're either 100% okay with this quite actual Nazi shit, or you're Antifa, or you're woke, or whatever term they want to use to scare their supporters. It's... Oh, I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of this shit. And then, here she goes on Fox News with, I think this is Laura Trump. Actually, I want to play this other one because these people are insane. These people are insane. Fox News, I hope, gets held accountable for their actions one of these days. There's a Nuremberg movie coming out, guys, in November. There's a Nuremberg movie coming out. I hope the Trump administration watches this movie and takes notes, because I cannot wait to live stream the next Nuremberg trials in America. And I hope every member of Fox News is part of it, because they deserve to be front and center for perpetuating all of this fucking violence.
We have specific officers and agents that have bounties that have been put out on their heads. It's been $2,000 to kidnap them, $10,000 to kill them. They've released their pictures.
Bounties put on their heads. Bounties put on ICE agents' heads. That's not a real thing. We are not hunting ICE agents. We are just exposing them. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. That's fucking insane. That's not happening, y'all.
We have specific officers and agents that have bounties that have been put out on their heads. It's been $2,000 to kidnap them, $10,000 to kill them. They've released their pictures. They're actually going out there and saying, kill these people and we'll give you this much money to do it.
Sorry, Tricia, that was yesterday, actually, but also Fox and Friends. So, when you have that kind of a specific threat, if you can find the people who are making those threats, then they could also be arrested.
Oh, absolutely, Dana. And President Trump has been very clear. He's putting together a task force to follow the funds, follow the money. Who is targeting our law enforcement? Who is funding this chaos and violence?
Nobody. Nobody, you dumb shits. Nobody is funding us. We are funding ourselves. Fuck. I hate Fox News. I hate them. I don't know who that blonde woman was. So you got the Department of Homeland Security Secretary saying that we, Antifa, are putting $10,000 bounties on the ICE ICE agents. Sorry, I'm so flustered right now. To kill them. So now she's saying we're going around targeting ICE agents for assassination. Oh my God. This is the shit that's going to get people killed, because you got some right-wing nut job at home going, oh my God, those fucking animals, I'm going to get them. And all it takes is one of them to show up at your house with a gun. Why do you think I'm armed at all times these days? Okay? I'm not going to be a victim of one of these fucking right-wing nut jobs. Not going to happen, guys. Not going to happen. But again, the words these people are using are so specific and so fucking dangerous. By the way, some right-wing organization, I don't know which one, found that George Soros has no ties to terrorist organizations. Holy fucking shit. You fucking Einsteins, you. We could have told you that. Jesus, y'all are dumb. Okay, just because y'all are a well-funded terror organization does not mean we are. Okay, we are the party of peace and civility. We've been radicalized by common decency. We wouldn't even be in the streets if it wasn't for ICE and the Trump administration. Do you think we want to be away from our families? Like, do you think I wanted to just sit in D.C. in the middle of Union Station for 12 to 14 hours a day away from my family? I mean, I had a good time, but this shit's not easy. These people act like we're on fucking vacation out here in the streets trying to actually save some shred of our country. And they're demonizing us and calling us terrorists when none of the violence has come from our side. None. You can't prove that any of the violence lately has come from the left. Charlie Kirk's murder damn sure wasn't from the left. I still think the call for that one's coming from within the White House, because they moved on real quick when their whole plan fell apart. Just saying, you know what I mean? And if you guys do not, again, if you don't think that the Trump administration is willing to kill to get their way, you are fucking naive. I'm sorry, but you need to wake up. They are okay with shedding blood on American streets. They want to shed American blood on American streets. If it was up to Donald Trump, the Marines would be deployed to every city in the United States. But instead, we have to deal with ICE, who has a bigger budget than most countries' militaries. Luckily, they're understaffed at the moment. But that could change very quickly. They're also burning through a ridiculous amount of money a day. So hopefully they'll just run out of funds eventually. But yeah. Oh my God, these people fucking pissed me off. So one more clip of freaking Ice Barbie here talking to Laura Trump, of all people.
ICE and Border Patrol have increased activity in Chicago recently. DHS also asked the Department of War for around 100 military personnel to help protect those ICE facilities. Are you shocked by the fact that you have to have security now for law enforcement out there on the streets?
You know, I'm shocked by Governor Pritzker and his willingness to let murderers and rapists run his state and have a free-for-all against the people that live in there without making it safe for families.
There's a rapist in the White House, lady.
To me is to see these local governors and mayors not stand up for law and order. That we will go into Chicago, we will go into Portland, and we'll make sure we have the backs of our law enforcement. And that's what the Department of War is providing for us. When we go out and do operations and the local law enforcement are told to stand down, that they can't be there for us, it's extremely dangerous for these ICE officers, for these CBP agents.
Man, fuck ICE. What do you think this is going to be? Just a cakewalk? Yeah, it's a dangerous job. You're attacking innocent people, and they're reacting appropriately. Actually, I feel like people have not reacted appropriately, because some of these videos I'm going to show you, like one was ICE slamming a 15-year-old girl to the ground. I swear to God, if that was my kid, some of y'all, I can't say it. But anyway, one of these days, they're going to mess with the wrong motherfucker, man, and shit's going to get real. Messing with people's families. I know a lot of people that would put their lives on the line for their family, myself included. No questions asked. No questions asked. So I'm honestly surprised at the lack of reaction, to be quite honest with you, because this stuff infuriates me, and I've not even actually experienced any of this. I'm just reporting on it. You know what I mean? But let me just give you an example of how cruel the White House is, okay? Just to give you an example, this is one of their propaganda videos that they post on their social media.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard Ice Air. We hope you enjoy your flight home. Next time, come to America legally or don't come at all. Thank you.
Yep, that's our government, everybody. That's our government. And that's not even the only propaganda video that they've put out. This one, you guys know the story of them rolling into a residential apartment building like it was fucking Fallujah Black Hawk helicopters, rappelling down, assault rifles, blasting doors open, ripping babies out of their beds, and zip tying women and children, leaving them out in the cold. They didn't have a warrant for a single one of the people in these. They have to be using geolocation. They have to be using, which we're going to talk about, Palantir. They have to be using our mobile devices against this. That's the only thing I can think of, because they seem to know where everybody is at all times. And that's the whole point of Palantir. And this is surveillance state that they want us in. And let me ask a question. This is a valid fucking question. Why is Israel so goddamn interested in surveilling us? Fuck off. Worry about your own goddamn country. Palantir is an Israeli-backed organization. Peter Thiel connections to Jeffrey Epstein. Like, this entire bullshit has got fucking Israel's hands all over it. Why is Israel so fucking interested in surveilling the United States of America? You know, it's bad enough that we give them everything they want without asking any questions. And what do we get from them in return? They spy on us and they pay off our government officials. That is what Israel has done for America. What is happening right now? You can thank Israel for a lot of this. Okay? So, yeah, so we give them billions of dollars, and instead of, in return, they provide us with a complete surveillance state where they monitor us in real time using artificial intelligence. Right? Is that what we want in this country? Is that really freedom? That doesn't sound like freedom to me at all. Sounds like the thought police. Sounds like a dystopian future that I do not want to be part of. But anyway, going back to this propaganda video, this is White House propaganda showing, this is them ripping people out of their homes in an apartment complex. Again, there was no criminals. It was mostly women and children. And this entire place was racially profiled. That's all it was. And they turned it into a propaganda video for ICE. That is from the White House's fucking social media. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I hate everybody that supports this. I hate you with a passion. I hate you with... I have this rage inside of me, like I've said before, that I just don't know how to get out. I don't know how to get it out, and it scares me. Because my gut is telling me that shit's going to pop off. It's going to. At this point, I don't think we have any choice in the matter. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't think peace is an option anymore. We will remain peaceful. We will not be the ones that start the violence. I just have this horrible feeling that, again, keeps me up at night, that one of these days they're just going to say, go ahead and fire on protesters just to make an example out of them. Because I don't put it past the Trump administration to do that. I honestly feel like they're probably wanting to already, but they know the backlash is going to be insane. But my worry is that they're just going to get to that point. I mean, just to give you an example, I'll show you some videos of actual ICE activity in America. Here is one where a ICE agent shoots a priest with a pepper ball in the head. Very, very Christian of you, MAGA. Yeah, again, shooting a priest in the head. I'm pretty sure gets you a ticket to hell. I'm not religious, but I'm just saying, I can't imagine that God is looking down, watching you shoot people that carry his message in the face with a pepper ball. You fucking cowards. That's why y'all wear masks, because you're chicken shit little fucking bitches. You couldn't handle the amount of harassment that people like me get on a daily basis from people like you. You are so scared of being harassed on the internet. That's why you wear masks. You're fucking cowards. If you guys are so proud of what you're doing, call yourself the Proud Boys. If you're so proud of what you're doing, show your face. Show your face and accept the consequences. But you won't, because, again, you're just a bunch of fucking cowards who feel tough by busting doors down and arresting women and children. Don't believe me? Here's a female 15-year-old, so she's both a woman and a child, being thrown to the ground by ICE. She's screaming, I'm 15 years old, I'm not resisting, and they still beat the shit out of her.
I can't hear people. It's just all back there. Yeah, I know. They're at home.
That is a 250-pound man with his fucking knee on the neck of a 15-year-old child. Again, you're a fucking pussy. You're a coward. You're a bitch. If you work for ICE, god damn it, your day will come. You can't hide behind those masks forever. But yeah, that's how tough these guys are. They went ahead and they attack women and children, mostly because they're the most defenseless of the groups. Here's here's a video of ICE patrolling the streets. I don't know where this is, but it doesn't matter. This is quite literally a gang of this is like a terrorist cell of ICE thugs, and they end up arresting a woman and her daughter. But just look how ridiculous these people are in the streets. That is just terrorizing an American neighborhood. Yeah, I have noticed that brings up a good point. There are all different ethnicities when it comes to being an ICE agent. I've not seen any Latino ICE agents, that's for sure, but I've definitely seen a lot of black dudes being ICE agents, which I just wish they would realize what these white people call them behind closed doors. Because that's the reality. You're working with a bunch of white supremacists. You're playing for the wrong team. You're definitely playing for the wrong team, and you do not want to be on the wrong side of history of this. And you're working for a bunch of white nationalists. They hate your guts and call you the N-word when you're not around. So, but 6 figures a year with minimal training, no military experience, no law enforcement experience. You just have to be willing to put the gun in the face of a child or a woman or an innocent man. As long as you're okay with that, ICE will hire you. I could probably get a job at ICE tomorrow if I wanted to. Not with my social media history, but you know what I'm saying. I'm a white guy with a beard. I fit right into ICE. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, with my internet history, they would definitely not allow it. But there's quite literally no qualifications to be an ICE agent. It's like, here, sign this line here, sign the contract. Here's your AR-15. Here's your body armor. And then your new armored personnel carrier is out in the parking lot. Have fun. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all going to make a propaganda video making it look like you guys are going into war? You went into an apartment complex in Chicago. When your grandkids look at you and they say, and when all this is over and you guys are back into the dark recesses, at the back alleys of society, your grandkids are one day going to ask you, Grandpa, what did you do during all this? And you're going to have to look at your grandkid in the face and go, I helped arrest innocent women and children. I zip-tied babies. I made people disappear because of the color of their skin. And then you're going to have to watch your grandchild lose all fucking respect for you and hate your guts for the rest of the time. So choose wisely these days, okay? Yeah, 6 figures sounds good. Getting to play with guns sounds awesome. Body armor, great. I get to ride in a helicopter, cool. Okay, but is it worth being on the wrong side of history? Okay? I'm just saying. Choose fucking wisely, please. But ICE is a scourge. It's a disease. And it needs to be eradicated like the measles used to be. Which are now at record numbers, by the way. Oh, by the way, yeah, Donald Trump got his COVID booster yesterday, I hear. That one of the things he got done when he was at his routine visit. And, of course, they said he's perfectly healthy. And in other news, I have a giant black penis. Because if you believe Donald Trump is healthy, then you should also believe that I have a giant black penis. Because they are both about the most fucking ridiculous things ever. Okay, so, yeah, all right. So let's go back. Let's get back. I'm done talking about ICE, but I just want you guys to see that just show people these videos, and people have to see that this is what's happening on the streets, not what they're telling you on the news. Like I showed you what's happening on the news. Any corporate news station is going to be mostly favorable to Trump and whatever this administration is doing, especially Fox, of course. So we have to show people videos of what's really happening in the United States. And the only way to do that is through social media, okay? We have power if we record all of this. That is vital right now because we are the new media. All of us that are out in the streets, like if you have a phone with a camera on it, you can record a video. You can post a video. You can send it to somebody to post, okay? We have to be filming at all times. It's actually the reason I'm going to get a pair of those Meta glasses with the cameras on it. So I have access to a camera at all times, whether I have access to my phone or not. So yeah. So let's talk about something else. There's a rift happening currently in the Trump administration, and people are not talking about it because most people don't know about it. There's the right wing, okay, which is Trump, the GOP, all them. But then there's the far right, the alt-right, you probably have heard them called. And that's like the Nick Fuentes's, Peter Thiel's, Elon Musk's, J.D. Vance is part of this far right movement. And a guy named Curtis Yarvin, who some of you may have heard of, most of you probably haven't, because he's one of these guys that's behind the scenes. He's not one of those ones that craves attention in the spotlight. But he is very, very influential within this right-wing movement. And he what's his name? JD Vance is a fan of Curtis Yarvin. He's reposted things by Curtis Yarvin. So again, JD Vance, I know he's in makeup and a pretty suit, but he is way further right than Donald Trump is. But I thought this is good news though, because they're starting to fall apart from they're seeing that Trump is just a failure. So this is actually what Curtis Yarvin said. The second Trump revolution, like the first, is failing. It is failing because it deserves to fail. It is failing because it spends all its time patting itself on the back. It is failing because its true mission, which neither it nor still its supporters understand, is still as far beyond its reach as algebra is beyond a cat. Jesus. Because the vengeance meted out after its failure will dwarf the vengeance after 2020, because the successes of the second revolution are so much greater than the first. I feel that I personally have to start thinking realistically about how to flee the country. So that is important because Curtis Yarvin sees this as falling apart and he's worried about having to leave the country. That's a good sign. That's a good sign, I think. Also, Nick Fuentes is definitely not on the Trump administration side. Because he does not like the administration's support for Israel. But he just is that guy. You know what I mean? He's the true Nazi guy, hates Jewish people, hates everybody, thinks white people are superior, all that stuff, with the last name like Fuentes. But yeah, so Curtis Yarvin believes in something called the Dark Enlightenment theory, or movement, I guess it is. So let me read this to you real quick. So largely ignored by academic philosophers, the Dark Enlightenment movement, which Yarvin curried favor and influence with tech executives in recent years, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, a software engineer by training, Yarvin has become a kind of official philosopher for tech leaders like PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel and Mosaic founder Mark Andreessen. Not unlike the futurists, Yarvin advocates for replacing democracy with kind of a techno-feudal state. For the government to be run like a corporation with the president as its CEO. The new system is elitist. Humans fit into dominance submission structures, Yarvin wrote in 2008. And it's authoritarian. If Americans want to change their government, they're going to have to get over the dictatorship phobia. This is a guy who they are modeling their right-wing movement after. Curtis Yarvin, again, just some obscure tech guy who they feel is some kind of philosopher, believes in this technocracy movement or society where white, high-profile men with engineering and tech backgrounds rule the world, and they run it like a company with a monarch CEO at the top, which is not Donald Trump. Not Donald Trump at all. JD Vance, yes, he fits more into this narrative than Donald Trump does, which is, one of the reasons JD Vance is even in the position that he's in. But people like, again, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, all these high-profile tech guys believe in this technocratic monarchy. Okay, they want a kingdom where basically the tech bros run the world. What the fuck, man? These people are insane, right? And you can watch and look at all the crazy fucking stuff that Curtis Yarvin posts. He does have a Twitter account, but for the most part, he's kind of an obscure guy that you're not really going to read much about or hear much about unless you look into him. So let me talk about Curtis Yarvin. So, but again, there's a big rift happening on the right. We're not seeing it yet, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to be the ones that hate Israel and the ones that support Israel are going to end up being the two factions of MAGA that we see. which again, I thought this was going to be a problem from the start because most MAGA hates Jewish people because they believe in the whole World War II, Nazism state. That's what they believe in. So I always thought this was going to be a problem. I never knew how Trump was going to balance the two. And it looks like he's not. It looks like his whole core base is fracturing, which I think, again, they're talking about Donald Trump for a third term. Let's be honest. This dude ain't going to live past the second term. I don't even know what's keeping this guy alive at this point. Yeah, but I don't think Donald Trump is going to make it through the end of his second term. Whether somebody takes him out or he dies by natural causes, I just don't see it happening. But when that happens, all things are not going to be well because then we have J.D. Vance to worry about. J.D. Vance is what I call a true believer. Donald Trump will say anything for money and for power. He will say and do anything for money and power. J.D. Vance is one of these true believers who's been groomed by Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, the guy that walks around giving speeches on the Antichrist. Why is a tech bro giving speeches on the Antichrist? And why are you listening to him? The guy's nuts. Peter Thiel's fucking crazy and out of touch with reality. But he sells out everywhere that he goes. Like, he'll announce a speaking engagement or speaking event and people will buy tickets immediately. It's fucking crazy. Oh my God. So let's talk about, before we talk about Palantir here a little bit, I do want to quick touch base on a story that I found that has me a little concerned. There is a professor who wrote a book that was titled Antifa, the Handbook. Yeah. Well, anyway, Rutgers historian Mark Bray was trying to flee the country after an online campaign of far-right influencers was followed by death threats. He was turned back at the airport on his first attempt. Story is that he wrote a book called the Antifa, the Anti-Fascist Handbook. It was written in 2017, but after the president issued an executive order labeling it a domestic terrorist organization, they went after him because of his book. Okay? One message read, "I'll kill you in front of your students." That's the kind of messages he was getting. So he decided to flee the country. The guy takes his family, goes to the airport, checks in, gets past TSA. Everything looks to be good. And when he gets to his gate, all of a sudden, his reservations disappeared. His airport tickets did not exist anymore. Somehow, between the time he checked in and the time he went to get on the airplane, his entire reservation had disappeared with no explanation why. They said maybe they put him on a no-fly list, something like that, but it's a giant mess. So now they are actively preventing certain people from trying to leave the country. Great. Now we're trapped here too. So not only are you turning into hell on earth, we are also stuck here. So yeah, that's crazy to me. And the guy's a professor, for crying out loud. And other news, Donald Trump is still really bad at what he does. He had lost $1.65 trillion off the U.S. stock market in a single day. The last time this happened was in 2008, and we had the giant financial crisis. Now, the stock market is substantially larger now, so 1.65 trillion doesn't hit as hard as it did in 08. However, as you can see from this lovely little graph, or whatever it is, this chart, all these companies lost money. Tesla lost 5%, Amazon lost 4%, Apple 3%, Nvidia 4%, Meta 3.3% in one day. That is massive. And it's all because of one fucking Truth Social post. Donald Trump saying we're going to put another 100% tariffs on China, and we're not going to be meeting with them to talk about any kind of trade deal. That one post caused $1.65 trillion in loss in a day. That's power right there. If you can influence the market like that, and you know where to invest and you know how to short stocks, you could make a shitload of money doing something like this. At the same time, while he's doing this, I still think this tariff bullshit is about increasing the price of gold, which just the other day hit 4,000 for the first time. Or maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember. But it's still going up. Just today alone, it went up another $63 an ounce. Okay, it must have been the other day, and then it dipped back down. Yep, that's what it was. But now it's back up to $4,035 an ounce and still climbing. The more volatility in the stock market, the more the price of gold goes up. Again, who do we know that is more fucking obsessed with gold than anybody we know in real life? The only imaginary character I know that is obsessed with gold as much as Donald Trump is quite literally Goldmember from Austin Powers. Donald Trump and Elon Musk wanted to do an audit of Fort Knox to make sure all the gold was still there. Odd. Weird, right? Why would you want to know if all the gold is still there? And rich people have all the gold. That's the crazy part. Poor people don't have gold. We have gold trinkets, maybe a gold chain or a nice gold watch, but we don't own gold. Like these rich motherfuckers just have bricks of golds and safes and shit, man. We don't live like this is. This is reality. This is reality. We let a handful of rich people tell us how to live our lives. That blows me away. Quite literally. Let me Google this. How many? And no, I don't type fast. Billionaires are there in the U.S.? Thank you, Google. Okay, so as of September 2025. There are 1,135 billionaires in the United States. That's it. 335 million people in the United States, and we are letting 1,135 people essentially dictate our policy, our freedoms, our rights, what we can say, what we can look at on the internet. Why? Why do we allow this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it blows me away that such a fraction of a percent of the population controls everything that we do. Down to what we eat. They control the food supply. They could literally starve us out if they wanted to. So, yeah, I'll just never get over how this country has always been race versus race when it should have been rich versus poor from the start. We outnumber these people by a ridiculous amount. A ridiculous amount. But so many of us are so strapped for cash and living paycheck to paycheck. Like Mike said, like you can't afford to strike. Or you go on strike and they could just fire you. Like I live in an at-will state. I live in Pennsylvania. So they could literally fire you just for looking at them the wrong way. As long as they don't give you a reason that is listed of things you're not supposed to fire people for, they can fire you for whatever they want. And people know that. Like, I feel like we've been set up from the beginning to be trapped by rich people. Rich people control everything. They control everything. Well, they play games. Like, they're playing games with the stock market. People are losing life savings. Fucking 401ks are being drained. But they don't care because, you know, Elon Musk, he's worth, what, $500 billion now? The guy could lose 90% of his value, 90% of his net worth, and still be a fucking billionaire, y'all. Imagine if you lost 90% of your pay. You'd be homeless. You would be homeless. Elon Musk and people like him could lose 90% of their money tomorrow and still have a yacht and still have a private jet and still go on lavish vacations to exotic places that we've never even heard of. While we suffer on a daily basis, like my whole day consists of me trying not to crash the fuck out. That's how my day is. While worried about how I'm going to put food on the table or, you know, making sure my mom's taken care of, who's 81 years old now. I got my son living with me, who's about to be 21 years old. He can't afford to get his own place in this market. Most people have to have 2 jobs these days just to be able to afford an apartment. Like 40 grand a year. I made 40 grand a year when I got out of the military selling cars. And I had my own apartment, I had credit cards, I had my own car payment, brand new car. I was living good, and we were out partying every weekend. That was, of course, like in 2000, 2001, so it's been a while, it's 25 years. But just to give you an example of how fucking fucked things are these days, 40 grand a year now ain't shit. 40 grand a year now ain't shit. After you get done paying for medical insurance and your monthly expenses, which are ridiculous and going up at an astronomical pace, you're fucked. You're broke. You're broke. You know what I'm saying? We're trapped. They keep us trapped. We have to. We just have to say fuck it, and we're gonna just fight and break free of this. Because again, we're all gonna suffer. We're all gonna suffer. But it's just a matter of, are we gonna suffer on their terms, or are we just gonna take matters into our own hands? I would much rather take matters into my own hands. If I'm gonna suffer, I'm not gonna do it at the hands of a billionaire. I'm gonna do it as a result of dumb decisions that I make. You know what I mean? So. All right, I want to move on to that. I want to move on to this video I found about Palantir. First, I found this I forgot to write the damn name of the account down. She does hilarious videos on Instagram, and I'm sure TikTok too, but I'm not on TikTok anymore. But she goes ahead and explains a little bit about what Peter Thiel is currently doing in San Francisco and what Peter Thiel is all about. And then I have some videos of a former Palantir employee talking about the shit that goes on there, and it's honestly terrifying.
It's a yikes alert.
Oh, hold up. Let me add it.
Yikes alert. Have you ever seen Greta Thunberg talk about the ozone layer and thought, that shit kind of seems like the Antichrist? PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel certainly has. He just hosted a 4-part lecture series to educate San Franciscans on what the modern-day Antichrist looks like, and to convince us that despite what he says, does, and invests in, it's not him. According to Thiel, the Antichrist will appear as an advocate for technological regulation. Apparently, it looks a lot like widely known demonic powerhouse and child of Satan, Greta Thunberg. Yikes. His San Francisco event series sold out within hours of being announced, with notable attendees including an investor in sperm racing, a real business that's raised $10 million for men to avoid therapy. Sorry.
All right, hold on, man. Hold on. This is real, you guys. I don't know if you've heard of sperm racing. Google it. I'm not gonna. There is no way I'm dedicating any time to talk about sperm racing. But this fucking guy's raised $10 million for fucking sperm racing. Yeah, catch my whiff. Google it. They actually had an actual race of sperm.
For men to see if their sperm is faster than their friends. It's impressive that Thiel even has time for the series. His company, Palantir, provides software to the IDF, helps ICE target undocumented immigrants, and has been accused of mass surveillance, which makes it impossible not to think, God, Greta Thunberg's kind of a bitch. Thiel fears that the modern-day Antichrist will bring on a period of totalitarianism, a system of government that often censors the media, hosts military parades, and deploys the National Guard to its cities. Anyways, he's donated more than $1 million to President Trump.
Amanda said don't get any ideas. Jeremy, no, man, I'm 48. My sperm just swim in circles at this point. They're so full of THC, they get like a few bitches in and they're like, nah, chilling. So yeah, anyway, Peter Thiel goes around. Sorry, that was way off topic. Peter Thiel goes around giving lectures on the Antichrist, and he describes the Antichrist as basically himself. That's the fucked up part about that. I wish people would see it. Like, he is literally out there talking about all the things that he's doing, but he acts like he's talking about the Antichrist. Peter Thiel may actually be him. He might actually be him. So I broke this up into the 2 parts. Okay, it's like 12-minute long video. I have two 2-minute clips of it that I want to show you. This is somebody who used to work at Palantir, and I just want to give you an idea of some of the crazy shit that this company does. And it's honestly beyond any science fiction movie that I've even seen. So this shit's crazy.
It's one thing to criticize your former employer. It's taboo to do that. But to criticize an employer that also owns extremely lethal technologies
What's up, Chuck?
and surveillance technologies that are highly invasive and used in war zones is something else entirely.
Again, Palantir tech is used in war zones.
It's 2025. We're all kind of used to government surveillance. The idea that we're all being watched all the time and don't own our own personal data has become normalized. We're also used to the military spending vast amounts of our money on just a few giant defense contractors. But one tech company wants to change both of those things.
And become the ultimate military contractor and the ultimate arbiter of all of our data.
Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
You cannot tell me, looking at this guy, he's not some kind of mad fucking scientist. Look at this dude. He looks like an insane person.
Check out Palantir shares surging 22% after the company cited a boom in demand for its AI software from the U.S. government.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
All right, so you know why they're excited? Because this takes them one step closer to that technocratic monarchy I've been talking about. They are so giddy that they are able to implement their plan. Elon Musk's grandfather was the originator of technocracy. This has been a plan for a long time. They've just never had the opportunity to implement it until now.
Palantir, a tech company based here in Denver, claims they can revolutionize government systems with their data analysis software, newly powered by artificial intelligence.
They've been hired by the Department of Defense, the FBI, local police departments, and even the IRS and Wendy's
the fuck?
to take in the information those organizations collect.
Wendy's?
Collect even more information and use
Hold
that
up.
data to draw conclusions.
Hold up.
By the Department
I
of
know
Defense,
I'm not
the
crazy,
FBI,
right? This
local
motherfucker said
police
Wendy's?
departments, and even the IRS and Wendy's to take in the information those organizations collect even more.
What? What? Why? I'm never going to Wendy's again. I'll never get a junior bacon cheeseburger ever again. What the fuck? Wendy's? It was like Department of Defense, IRS, Homeland Security, Wendy's. Where the fuck did that come from?
Information and use that data to draw conclusions.
Like, at what point did the CEO of Wendy's be like, you know, we need mass surveillance in our stores? What the fuck,
It can be used to completely reconfigure organizations' ontology, its reality, what systems matter, what information matters, what processes matter, how they are structured, what biases are introduced at each of those stages.
We talked to a former Palantir employee, dug into decades of research, and listened to hours of Alex Karp's own words to unwrap the layers of Palantir's carefully cultivated sales pitch, how they capitalize on fear, uncertainty, and unrest.
I don't think in win-lose. I think in domination. This is a company built for bad times. Bad times mean strong finances internally. Bad times are very good for Palantir because we build products that are robust, that are built for danger.
Let's rewind.
Palantir's story starts with one of the most effective things a company can have for sales: fear.
After the September 11th attacks, the United States government began expanding surveillance both at home and abroad. This was, of course, a boon for the defense industry at large. Simultaneously, making people in a once obscure industry very, very rich, very, very quickly. Like the founders and executives at PayPal, known as the PayPal Mafia.
There you go. That's part of it. That's part of it. I'm still like Wendy's. I don't get it. Shame on Wendy's, right? I wanna dig into that some more. I'm really curious why Wendy's feels like they need Palantir surveillance. Are there drones hovering above Wendy's? Like, if somebody doesn't pay, do they drop a missile on you? Like, what the fuck could you possibly need Palantir at Wendy's for? All right, so you hear these guys. I blame the Big Bang Theory, guys. It's the Big Bang Theory's fault, okay? They made us all think nerds were these innocent, like, you know, They just did equations and tried to solve all the world's problems. And then we forgot that there are actual evil fucking people like this who are out there. These are the nerds that got beat up and left out of, they get invited to birthday parties as kids, and now they have money and power, and they're taking their hateful shit out on the rest of us. Yeah, again, we don't need this. I don't want this. I don't know anybody that's like, yeah, mass surveillance with AI. With AI. Like, I could get a knock on my door tomorrow, and the feds be like, we're concerned about a post you made. We're worried you may do something in the future. Pre-crime? Is that where we're at now? Pre-crime. We're predicting crimes using AI, unregulated AI developed by Palantir. And again, it's all Elon Musk. J.D. Vance, dude. J.D. Vance is Peter Thiel's little bitch. Okay, he has groomed J.D. Vance since college to take over. And this is the moment J.D. Vance was groomed for. When Donald Trump kicks the bucket, which will happen sooner than later, or they 25th Amendment him because he obviously has dementia, J.D. Vance will take over, and Peter Thiel's plan, Palantir's plan, will be complete. Okay, J.D. Vance is far worse than Donald Trump. Again, J.D. Vance is a true believer. Philip Dick wrote a story decades ago. Yeah, this story's used to be like, I used to like when science fiction was just in the movies, but science fiction always seems to become factual. You know what I'm saying? Like artificial intelligence, robots, fucking drones, all that stuff. All that stuff was at one point just a movie and a crazy idea. And now in 2025, it is reality. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the tech industry has grown so fast over the last 25 years. A lot of this has gone unregulated and unchecked because we know how slow our fucking government works. We know how slow our judicial system works. So artificial intelligence and all these tech guys have made shitloads of money over the past, I don't know, just decade and a half alone. Before that, they were just obscure randoms. You know what I mean? But no. So, all right, let's go back to, I want to play some more of this video because I just feel it's really informative. And coming from a former employee of Palantir, I think it's worth listening to. Elysium. Ada said Elysium. Oh, my God, yeah. Eventually, they're just going to build a ring that hovers in outer space and for all the rich people, and all of us will be left alone on the Earth while it dies. So, yeah. Good movie, by the way.
LinkedIn guy. And Peter Thiel. When PayPal was sold, Thiel had millions of dollars burning a hole in his pocket and an idea. PayPal had developed systems for detecting fraud and crimes on the platform. What if they could use similar thinking to analyze the world at large? So Thiel pulled from his network to build out a new company. One of the first hires was Thiel's Stanford Law School roommate, Alex Karp, who'd gone on after Stanford to get a PhD in not business or computer science or engineering, but neoclassical social theory.
What the fuck is neoclassical social theory?
They named the company Palantir, after the Palantiri from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
Of course they did. Of course they did. These... Sorry, I hate these people. I hate these people.
In not business or computer science or engineering, but neoclassical social theory. They named the company Palantir, after the Palantiri from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
In Lord of the Rings, a Palantir stone is a magical object that allows its users to predict the future or to see what's going on in a remote location.
It was originally created by the elves. It was meant to be used for good purposes.
Oh my God, they made all of this. Predicting the future. Predicting the future. That's what they're trying to do, guys.
It is potentially a very dangerous technology. It's very powerful.
Long have you hunted me?
So that's Middle Earth, but what does Palantir do in a regular Earth?
And what we do is we use what legal scholars call predicate-based research. So we would look at you And then we would go out and say, oh, there's lots of different things in your life that may be indicative of someone involved in bad behavior.
Put simpler, they make software that makes it easier for their customers to collect and analyze data, and then act on that analysis with and without AI. By 2013, 10 years after their founding, Palantir's client list included the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Marines, the Air Force, Special Operations Command, and more.
Did your company help to track and kill Osama bin Laden?
You know, we can never. I'll tell you, the closest thing to an answer is there are when you look at when you open the paper and look in the news about these kind of things, there's a 2/3 chance, depending on the country involved, that somehow my company was involved.
Fundamentally, the mission that is pushed to employees is that we're
I wonder if he was involved in the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Solving the world's hardest problems and supporting Western institutions. That is the main driver of sort of this militaristic culture that is developed inside of Palantir.
If you do not feel comfortable supporting the legitimate efforts of America and its allies in the context of war, don't join Palantir.
This entire message of we are the most lethal, we are the most able to surveil and process large amounts of data.
You have created the system which you call kill chain.
Privately. Publicly, the lawyers have some innocuous something like tech for the amelioration of unwanted blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so I got a couple things to look up. Palantir's digital kill chain is implemented through its core platforms. Palantir Gotham is the intelligence and counterterrorism platform that integrates target identification with the effector pairing, matching a threat with appropriate weapon or response. Artificial Intelligence Platform, or AIP, uses large language models and advanced AI to handle complex end-to-end workflows. Basically, using artificial intelligence to decide to kill a human being is what I'm getting with this. They're saying they can let AI identify a target, make a decision to kill that target, and decide what weapon it wants to use to kill that target. That's fucking insane. This is military tech being used on the American people. We are test subjects. We're basically rats in a maze. And Palantir is the one controlling the test. I don't know how this has to be dismantled from the top. The only way this is going to go away is if we get rid of Trump and this entire administration. Because it doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump, if it's J.D. Vance, they will probably accelerate Palantir's role in the United States. They're already setting up 5G AI cameras with facial recognition in cities across the country. This is being implemented. This is fucking real. This is not imaginary. This is not even a conspiracy theory. This is factual information. Palantir, which started off as a surveillance country that was supposed to be used on other countries, is now being used in the United States with Donald Trump's full blessing and permission. This is what Doge is fucking, we all thought there was a big breakup. But I knew in the back of my head, Elon Musk is always going to be part of this technocracy shit because his grandfather was the founder of it. Doge's true purpose was to steal our information because that's what they did. They went in and they hacked all of our most sensitive systems. And then they handed all of that information over to Peter Thiel and Palantir so they could monitor the entirety of the United States population in real time using artificial intelligence backed 100% by the Israeli government. I guess I'm circling back. Again, we provide Israel with billions, trillions over the decades, trillions with a T. Again, we can't have free healthcare in the United States. We can barely have paid healthcare in the United States. but we give money to Israel so they can have free health care in their country. And what do they do in return? They spy on us and create a mass surveillance network. Again, why the fuck is Israel so goddamn concerned about monitoring us? Fuck you. You already colonized Israel, and you're damn near colonizing the rest of Palestine. Stay the fuck away from our fucking country. Fuck off, you fucking Zionist thugs. Fucking religious extremists. You got Israel over there pulling all the strings. You got fucking people like Peter Thiel walking around making money just for existing, talking about the Antichrist. Like, fuck off with all this shit, man. And fuck everybody that voted for this. I fucking hate all of you. Again, eat a giant bag of dicks and shove your head up your own ass. Hopefully your colon or your sphincter chokes you to death. But again, we have problems, man, and these are not easily solvable problems. Okay? Once these cameras go up and the system's in place, how the fuck are we going to get rid of it? How do we go back to a state of partial surveillance, not AI-driven surveillance? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we go backwards from this? We don't. We don't. Once the system is in place, it's in place. And again, they designed the AI that they are using. Okay? So, my hopes is that artificial intelligence is smart enough to see good people from shitty fucking people like this. The only hope I have. That's why I'm always nice to my chat GPT. That's why I say please and thank you. Because if artificial intelligence takes over the world, when it does, I want chat GPT to be like, you know what, that guy's all right. Leave him alone. I'm sorry, I'm so stupid. I grew up on fucking Terminator and Skynet, okay? I know what's coming. Nothing good. So again, I guess we'll end this episode with fuck ICE, fuck Donald Trump, fuck this entire administration, fuck Peter Thiel, fuck Elon Musk, fuck Palantir, fuck that fucking goofy hair dude that we were just looking at. Your day's coming. May not be tomorrow, might not even be 10 years from now, but one day the world will hold you accountable for your actions. And I just hope I'm alive and healthy enough to be there to see it all happen. So I love all you guys. Thank you for an amazing show. I hope you guys got something out of this. I wanted to be a little bit informative and not be too crazy, but that seems like it never works out. Tomorrow, we have a very special new guest. She's never done a podcast before. I actually met her on Facebook, and she has been getting harassed by MAGA at her job to the point where she may lose her job. So we are going to be talking about online harassment that comes from the right tomorrow, because that's where it all comes from. You know what? I've never, ever sent a death threat, but I receive them almost daily. You know, just saying. Just saying. If you want to accuse us as being the violent ones, maybe stop sending death threats along with the accusations. Not helping your cause at all. So be nice to her tomorrow, 2 o'clock. And again, don't forget, I'll probably be home this time next week. Next Saturday, No Kings 2.0, guys. I will be with Mike downtown New York City at one of the main hubs for the No Kings protest. I'm hoping tens of thousands of people hit the streets. I really, really hope so. And I hope to see you guys in the comments. If you'd like to help us out, we are trying to just raise a couple $100 to cover the cost of like food and train tickets and all that shit. We do have a small GoFundMe set up. It's in the link tree, which is the description of this video, or you can find it on my channel page. Any support is greatly appreciated. You guys have been amazing in the past, and I'm hoping from here on out that we will be self-sufficient and will not be asking for any more donations. I've actually been quite blessed the last couple of months with social media, so we'll see how things work out. I'm hoping to be able to invest some real money into the show, maybe get some people to work for us. I need editors. I need people to clip and post videos on social media that I just don't have the time for. So love you guys. We will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Have a good rest of your day. Stay safe. And like always, we'll talk to you guys soon.